Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rangers Respite. I'm Philip, and today is Friday, and usually that means a regular whiskey review. But I forgot something last week when I said that Wednesday I'd be reviewing the Belmont Farm American Single Malt whiskey, and then on Wednesday when I said, "Oh, it'll be Friday." Well, I recorded all of the episodes, Friday, Saturday, um, Monday for this Monday. I recorded that, like, last Thursday. Did it all in one shot and was planning on Tuesday, recording a bunch. I'd forgotten that it was going to be dry week, so I was going to, on Wednesday or on Tuesday, record a video. I was like, "Oh, forgot about dry week." So, dry week dram is actually gonna be RC Cola, and then I just wasn't up to it Tuesday, um, and slept all day Wednesday. So today, Friday morning, I'm doing my Friday video. If you like my videos, you like my reviews, you'd like to see more, or you would like to support the channel, which I would absolutely love, you can do that by liking, subscribing, sharing this video with your friends, um, and if you want a more concrete way of supporting the channel, make it possible for me to buy things such as, well, this is like $2, no big deal. But, make it so that I can purchase things to review on this channel. I have an Etsy shop where I sell these uh, ballpoint twist pens and rollerball pens. These both are turned from a piece of Quercus robert, that is French oak. It came from a barrel stave. The barrel held cognac for 45 years before being used to finish a peated American single malt whiskey in the Pacific Northwest. If you know, you know. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me just fix my camera slightly. I was feeling a little bit weird about centering there. Okay, without further ado, let's talk about what I'm reviewing this dry week. I have here Royal Crown Cola. This is the standard stuff: water, sugar, caramel, phosphoric acid, caffeine. It's only 43 milligrams or 12 fluid ounces of caffeine. I, of course, have the limited edition glass barrel variant. I'm kidding, of course, it's not limited at all. Unlike some of the sodas that come in glass bottles these days, it does have a twist off cap, which is nice. And I'm just going to put this in my Min & Mill glass. I hope you don't mind, Joe. Nice effervescence. Now, I used to do these regularly when I was doing YouTube videos before, where I'd do dry week reviews, where I'd do a cheeky review of soda. All the usual jokes. Oh, look at that color. Like the Edradars, it's Cola Dark. By the way, this is where that phrase comes from. If you ever hear, sorry, putting it in front of my big white forehead, if you ever hear someone refer to an Edradar whiskey or another heavily sherried whiskey as being Cola Dark, this is what they mean. Because, like, yeah, I can hold it up to the light that's above my monitor. I can see through it ish, and it's like this really deep ruby color, but it's basically opaque. And there are genuinely some primarily Scotch whiskeys that are genuinely that, like, inky dark color. Um, and for some of them, like, I think it was like Loch Through, or there's another one that was basically like just caramel colored to the point of blackness. Yeah, that doesn't really count, but Edradar makes a big deal about being no artificial color, non-chill filtered, so, like, it kinda makes sense. Or doesn't make sense, but it kind of makes it more of, like, a real thing that, that, like, sherry influence and, stuff coming out of the barrel is so dark that it is that, like, really almost opaque color. Anyway, on the nose, sweet, thin. It has. This is going to be deep cut for some people. Do you remember in the early 2000s when you could get a Lunchables with a can of cola? That was this stuff. Fun fact. So if you want to feel nostalgic for the days of eating Lunchables, just get some lunch meat Ritz crackers, some cheap cheese, and a can of RC Cola. And there you go. It's really interesting because there's a little bit of cloves. I mean, just very sweet, like Necco wafer, a little bit of molasses, a little bit of cardamom almost. On the palate, it's light, effervescent. Weirdly, it's more aromatic than it has flavor, if that makes sense. Mostly what you get is that Necco wafer and sweetness. Not even a whole lot of the cola flavor. Um, just sort of an interesting fact. Going back to the nose, like I like to do after getting a taste on the palate. It's pretty much the same. It helps if you don't inhale the carbonation. Whew. Yeah, on the finish, virtually nothing. Just a little bit of sweetness. Anyway, as always, I ask and answer 3 questions. Do I like it? Eh. For those of you who don't know, I prefer Coca-Cola. I actually super ideally Dr. Pepper, but you know, Coca-Cola. It's my preferred caffeine delivery mechanism. I can't drink coffee for some reason. It gives me really bad acid reflux. Um, do I think it's a good value? Well, in the glass bottle, it is considerably more expensive. If you're not in an area where Royal Crown Cola regularly distributes, it is way more expensive than it's worth. And frankly, like I alluded to on the thumbnail of this video, which I've already made, I kind of consider it the redheaded stepchild of colas because you've got Coca-Cola, which is the red can. Everybody recognizes it. For a long time, most more restaurants, at least where I live, more restaurants carried Coca-Cola products than PepsiCo products. But you've got Coca-Cola, you've got Pepsi Cola, and then you've got the sort of the third option, RC Cola, that doesn't have a whole lot of distribution. It is only slightly beyond the a regional soda thing like Cheerwine, which by the way, I fucking love Cheerwine. Just putting it out there. I love Cheerwine. It's my favorite cherry soda. But anyway, and it's not, it's not nearly on the same level as say Dr. Pepper, which isn't technically speaking a cola because, doesn't have the, you know what I mean? You've got Pepsi, you've got Coke, RC Cola, you've got Fentiman's Curiosity Cola, which barely counts, but RC Cola is really the redheaded stepchild of the big three. It's the one that nobody really likes. However, RC Cola and a moon pie is the ideal combination for those two. I'm sitting here going, man, I really should have bought a moon pie to go with my RC Cola, but I didn't. This isn't a channel where I talk about food pairings. but it might be. Anyway, dry week ends today at noon. I'm looking forward to doing my Lost Lantern Saturday video and blind sample number 4 for the blind sample swap with Randall of Off Topic Whiskey. And then we're going to coordinate to either do a live or a canned video where we, together talk about sample number 5 and what was in the other samples. I've been really happy with what I got so far. With all that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in for this time-wasting episode of the Whiskey I guess it is the Whiskey Library Review, powered by the Rangers Respite. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, stay happy, stay geeks, Stancha.